Good morning, friends. Today we will discuss the next chapter is genetic engineering. So, genetic engineering. What is genetic engineering? Genetic engineering is also known as recombinant DNA technology. So, if in a layman language we try to understand the genetic engineering is nothing but we have to engineer the genome of a particular nucleus or organism. We have to engineer in terms of either we can delete a particular gene or delete a particular nucleotide from a gene, or we can insert a foreign gene means genes from other sources. Suppose we want to make a transgenic plant, so in this case particular in a particular plant cell we can introduce the bacterial genes to get a advantages, means to express a particular trait that is not already exist in that plant nucleus. Okay, so the genetic engineering approach or recombinant DNA approach. Recombinant means the DNA which contain more than two different sources DNA. That is recombinant DNA. That this DNA has to come together to join and introduce into the nucleus. That is known as recombinant DNA approach, which involve artificial transfer of a genes or gene segment from one organism to another to produce novel trait in the recipient living organism. So, can define genetic engineering or recombinant DNA as a technology which involves artificial transfer. Artificial means that is not naturally means that is done by manually by human beings. Okay, artificial transfer of genes or gene segment. So gene segment means a particular part of a genes also, not complete gene, particular part of the genes we can introduce from a particular organism. Suppose from bacteria to the plant, plant to bacteria to the yeast to likewise. Okay, to produce a novel trait. Novel traits means a new trait that is not already expressing in the plant, but from the other sources. We have transcribed the gene, then it's expressing the novel trait. That is recombinant DNA. Then the recombinant DNA technology is providing a mean to achieve following objective. What are the objectives to using this recombinant DNA approach? The fractionation of individual DNA component of complex genome, the amplification of cloned gene, opportunity to study the expression of individual genes also, means individual genes can be expressed, potential to create new genetic combinations, means new genetic combination can be created by using this recombinant DNA technology. If any recombinant DNA experiment has four essential steps. First is generating the DNA fragments, cutting and joining the DNA fragments to vector DNA molecules, introducing the vectors which carrying the foreign DNA into host cells where they can replicate, and selecting the clones of recipient cells that acquire the recombinant DNA molecule. There is a few steps involved in recombinant DNA technology. You can see here, like genetic engineering means is an enabling technology that involves cutting, modifying, joining the DNA molecules. Cutting means in case of genetic engineering, we have to cut the DNA molecules. We have to modify. Modify means at our choice. We can either introduce a particular segments of the DNA, particular nucleotide, these two different fragments of DNA molecules by using enzymes. By using different enzymes for cutting restriction endonuclease enzyme, for modifying kinases, phosphatase, likewise. Then joining DNA ligase enzyme is used to join the two different fragments of the DNA. That is joining individual DNA fragments. Similarly, for RNA also, we want to join two different segments of RNA, that is use RNA ligase enzyme. Okay, so all these enzymes togetherly we can use to create a recombinant DNA molecule. So recombinant DNA means suppose a genes segments is going to introduce into a vector molecules. Vector molecules is generally used to introduce a foreign gene into the host cells. It is a vector. Then after forming the recombinant DNA molecules, uh, we can introduce this recombinant DNA, which vector along with our gene of interest, introduce into the host cells, in which cell we want to express that gene. Okay, that is known as host cell genes. Then transform. This process, introduction of foreign gene into the host cells, is known as transformation. That's transformation. After transformation, the cells or that host cells will express this gene. Then how we will come to know that a expression is occurring or not? That is totally depend on the selection methods. Means we have to select the gene which is expressing that out gene of interest in the cell, host cell. Okay. So for selection also there is a different class of methods. So we are not going to deal with them in detail. But here you have to just remember that genetic engineering we have to follow the steps. First, we have to identify the gene of choice, gene of interest that has to be transferred into the host cell. Second thing is we have to, if we want to modify the genes, we have to cut the genes, introduce or make modifications at our choice by using the different enzymes like kinases enzyme, phosphatase kinase enzyme at the phosphate group. Kinase enzyme phosphate remove the phosphate group. Okay. Joining the DNA molecule. DNA molecules can be joined by using DNA ligase enzyme. DNA ligase enzyme, restriction enzymes. Then, which require four different steps. Generation of DNA fragments. Then use recombinant DNA by joining a vector molecules into the host cells. Selection of required DNA segments. There are different enzymes which is used in genetic engineering. Nucleases. Nucleases enzyme degrade the DNA, means cut the DNA, nuclease. They will randomly cut the DNA from any site. Nuclease enzyme. Restriction endonuclease restriction enzymes. This is important. Restriction endonucleases are the enzymes which cut the DNA at a specific sequence. Means sequence based recognition. First they will do sequence based recognition, and at that sequence they will cut. They form a cut, small cut at the DNA. And the restriction endonuclease enzyme very specific. They have a recognition sequence in palindrome manner. Palindrome is from both the sides. If we read the sequence from both the sides, the sequence will be same. Means either 3 prime to 5 prime, 5 prime to 3 prime. Sequence will be same in both the strands. So restriction endonuclease enzymes, very important. DNA ligase enzyme, as I told you, DNA provide favorable conditions. So DNA ligase enzyme, 24 DNA ligase enzymes used to join two different DNA fragments. Kinase enzyme phosphorylate a particular nucleotide at the phosphorus by using the ATP. Phosphatase enzyme. Phosphatase will remove the phosphate which is added by kinase enzyme. Phosphatase enzyme. Reverse transcriptase. Reverse transcriptase is very important enzyme discovered by Tamin and Baltimore. Tamin and Baltimore in a virus, reverse transcriptase. So the main function of reverse transcriptase is generally if we see the genetic flow from DNA to RNA, RNA to the protein. Okay, means first DNA has to replicate into the DNA, then DNA will transcribe into the RNA, then RNA will translate it into the protein. But by discovering the reverse transcriptase, we can understand the genetic information can flow back from RNA to DNA. So it's a very tremendous discovery in history of molecular biology. Reverse transcript done by the Tamil and Baltimore in a virus, papillomavirus. I forgot the name of exactly. Reverse transcriptase means it will transcribe reversely RNA into the DNA by using this enzyme, reverse transcriptase. And terminal deoxynucleotide transferase means is a terminal deoxynucleotide means we transfer a particular group at the end. RNase-P will degrade the RNA. So this is the enzyme using genetic engineering. Thank you. Hello, good morning everyone. So today we will discuss Next chapter, that is restriction endonuclease enzyme in the series of course principle of biotechnology, that is BT4311. So basically restriction endonuclease enzyme, we need to understand about the concept of this restriction endonuclease. What is restriction enzymes? Okay. Why we are calling them as a restriction endonucleases? Restriction enzymes are also known as endonucleases. Endo means inside, nucleases means DNA. Because they cut the DNA internal side. Okay. That's why we are calling them as endonucleases. In the bacterial cell, restriction enzymes cleave the foreign DNA. Restriction enzymes cleave the foreign DNA. Okay. When a bacterial cell get infected or have foreign genetic material, then naturally these restriction enzymes, they recognize that, identify the foreign DNA, and they will cut it, cleave into smaller. Thus they eliminate the infected organism like virus. Each restriction enzymes recognize a sort of specific sequences of nucleotide, specific sequence of nucleotide. That is for basic chemical subunit of linear double-stranded DNA. Adenine, cytosine, thymine, and guanine. So the specific sequence, short sequence, which consists of these four different nucleotides in a specific sequence. Then these regions are called as recognition sequences. These regions are called as recognition sequences or recognition site, are randomly distributed throughout distributed randomly throughout the DNA. So different bacterial species make the restriction enzymes that recognize different nucleotide sequences. So basically, the main function of restriction enzymes is to cut the DNA at a specific sequence in a recognition manner. If we talk about the discovery, how they have been discovered, history of these restriction nucleases. So the term restriction enzyme originated from the studies of bacteriophages, lambda phases. Bacteriophages are the viruses which infect the different class of bacteria. So lambda phase, during the study of lambda phase, restriction enzyme has been discovered. So late in 1960, it was shown by Werner Erber and Messelsons, but the study is only related with the type 1 restriction enzyme. Because till date, there has been 4 or 5 different class of restriction enzymes has been discovered. Okay. Initially, type 1 restriction enzyme was discovered by the Erber and Messelsons. But in 1970, Hamilton, Smith, Thomas Kelly, Kent Wilcox, they isolate and characterize the first type 2 restriction endonuclease enzyme, that is HENDED2, from the bacterium Haemophilus influenzae. They first identify type 2 restriction endonuclease enzymes. For their work and discovery and characterization of restriction enzymes, 1978, a Nobel Prize for Physiology and Medicine was awarded Erber, Nathans, and Smith for the discovery of this restriction endonuclease enzyme. That DNAs which act on a specific position or a sequence on the DNA are called as restriction endonucleases. There is a certain class of DNA. DNA means which cut the DNA at a specific sequence called as restriction endonucleases. The sequences which are recognized by the restriction endonucleases or restriction enzymes are called as recognition sequences or restriction sites. The sequences which are recognized by restriction endonucleases or restriction enzymes are called as recognition sequence or restriction site. The sequence are palindromic sequences. These sequences are palindromic sequences Different restriction enzymes present in different bacteria can recognize different or same restriction sites, but they will cut at two different points within the restriction site. Such restriction enzymes are called as isosizomers. So there are certain sequences which are palindrome. Palindrome means the sequence of restriction endonucleases will be same if we read those sequences from both the directions, either in a 5' or 3' or 3', 5'. And when we read them from 5 to 3 or 3 to 5, the sequence will be same. That's why we call them as a palindromic sequences. Different restriction enzymes present in different bacteria can recognize different or same restriction sites, but they will cut at two different points within the restriction site. Such restriction enzymes are called as isocytones. Interestingly, there is no two restriction enzymes from a single bacteria which cut at same restriction sites. Now, if we talk about the nomenclature, how nomenclature name is given to a particular bacteria, every restriction enzymes would have a specific name which would identify it uniquely. The first three letters in italics indicate the biological source of the enzyme, is name of the organism. The first letter being initial of the genus and second and third being the first letter of the species name. Finally, there is a Roman numericals for a particular enzyme if there are more than one stream in question. Eco R1 for the first enzyme from Eco R1 to a second. Here we can see the nomenclature. So here you can see, suppose we take example of Eco R1 into BAM-H1. So first letter E. E is taken from the Escherichia coli. Eco means Escherichia coli means source. Source means first representing the genus. Second to species. Two word from species. Okay, coli C. Strain R. R represent the strain. And one represent the order isolated. Okay, I. I, this is not the I, this is the one in Roman. These are the mathematical number represented in Roman. Similarly, in Hemithrid, H represent Haemophilus, I and influenza species. D represent the strain of the virus. And in last, there is a recognition site is also given. Similarly, Bacillus amyloidofaciens. H is strain, I is order. TN, T4R1, and blunt end. When they cut the DNA, they produce two types of ends. One is sticky end, second is blunt end. Sticky end, equaron produce the sticky end. Sticky end means they produce the overhang. They produce overhang at one side. Suppose this is the sequence. They will cut at GA. Okay, GA. So it will one strand will overhang. It few nucleotides will hang over the next nucleotide. So these are called as sticky end. Blunt end, suppose eco R fifth strand of eco R will produce blunt end, means they will cut the similar positions. So there is no nucleotide is over here. Now there is a different class of type of restriction endonucleases, type 1, type 2, type 3. Type 1 restriction endonucleases. These restriction enzymes recognize the recognition site but cleave the DNA somewhere between 400 base pair to 10,000 base pair or 10 kilo base pair right or left. Then the cleavage site is not specific. These enzymes are made up of three peptides with multiple functions. These enzymes require magnesium as a cofactor. Magnesium as cofactor. This is the important point. Magnesium as a cofactor is required by type 1 restriction enzyme like ATP and S-adenosyl methionine for cleavage or enzymatic hydrolysis of DNA. Study for general interest rather than as useful for genetic engineering. So type 1 restriction enzyme not so important in genetic engineering because they are not specific to the sequences. They cleave the DNA somewhere else for 100 to 10,000 base pair, right or left of the recognition sequences. So type 1 restriction enzyme are complex endonucleases. They have recognition sequence of 15 base pair. They cleave the DNA about 1000 base pair away from the 5' end of the sequence TCA, which is located within the recognition site. Example of type 1 is EcoR1, EcoK12, EcoKB. Type 1 restriction endonuclease enzymes help the help of many cofactors like adenosine methionine, which is hydrolyzed adenosine triphosphate with magnesium. Type 1 restriction endonuclease enzyme methylate the DNA sequence at first and site of recognition. Then it will cut or translocate the DNA sequence. This type 1 restriction endonuclease possesses three different subunits. HSDR, which is required for the restriction. M required for the modification. Add the methyl group, modification, methyl transferase. S required for the specificity. Cut site recognition addition to methyl transferase activity. Type 2 restriction endonucleases. Restriction enzymes of this type recognize the restriction site and cleave the DNA within the recognition site or sequence. These enzymes require magnesium as cofactor of cleavage activity, can generate 5' phosphate, 3' hydroxy. Enzymes of this type are highly important because of their specificity. Type 2 restriction enzymes are further divided into two types based upon their mode of cutting. Type 3rd. Type 3rd restriction enzyme of this type recognize recognition site would cut DNA 1 kilobase per away from the restriction site. These enzymes are made up of two different peptides or subunits. These enzymes require ATP, magnesium, S-adenosine, methionine for their action. So we can compare all these three in group of restriction endonuclease enzymes based on their different nature of property as type 1, type 2, type 3. If we talk about the nature, it shows the endonuclease and methylase activity. It has both activities. Type 2 has separate endonuclease and methylase activity. And type 3 has endonuclease and methylase activity. This type 1 composed of three different subunits. Composed three different subunits. It has two identical subunits and similarly type 3 also has two identical subunits. Restriction requirement is ATP, magnesium plus 2, S-adenosine methionine. Type 2 require only magnesium, while type 3 require only magnesium and ATP, while type 1 is required ATP, magnesium, and all those three. Cleavage site is random up to 1000 base pair away from the restriction sites. At or near restriction site, requirement with example. Please write down there are some certain restriction enzymes recognition site to their recognition site. Here some example of individual restriction enzyme is given with their recognition site. Yes. Good morning, everyone. So today's class is about vectors for the gene transfer. Different class of vector. What is vector? Why we need the vector? First, we need to understand why we need to transfer a gene from different sources. Okay. So the main objective behind genetic engineering is to manipulate the genetic content of a particular plant cell in order to get a desirable trait, in order to express a desirable trait in that plant, to get advantage to the human being. So vector, basically what is vector? Vector as name itself indicating, it's a act as a vehicle. Vector means vehicle for something. While we talk about the vector concept is vector is act as a vehicle for the gene. Okay, it just carry the gene from one place to another place, and we can modify this vector as per our requirement. Suppose our requirement is to just transfer the gene into the cell, then we have to we can manipulate the vector accordingly. If our main objective is to express a particular gene into the cell, then we also can modify the vector for their expression purposes by adding or deletion some kind of sequences into the present. So we will discuss them into the detail one by one. Okay. So first, what is vector? In molecular biology, vector is a DNA molecule which is used as a vehicle to artificially carry the foreign genetic material into another cell where it can be replicated or can be expressed. plasmid, cosmid, lambda phases, etc. A vector containing a foreign DNA is termed as recombinant DNA vector which contain a foreign DNA. So our main objective is to transfer the foreign DNA. So we have to attach this foreign DNA with vector sequence. Then vector sequence and foreign DNA both cumulatively we call them as a recombinant DNA. Okay, we call them as a recombinant DNA. There are four major types of vectors like plasmid vector, viral vectors, cosmid, plasmids, and then some other artificial vector is BAC, bacterial artificial chromosome, PEC, even phase artificial chromosomes, yeast artificial chromosomes, and so on. So most commonly used vectors are the plasmid because plasmid, cosmid, phasmid, artificial chromosomes are based on their capacity, how much length of DNA they can accommodate within them. So common to all engineered vectors have an origin of application. So all these vectors they must have a sequence for origin of application, multiple cloning sites in that, and a selectable marker. So what is the objective? We have to attach all these sequences in the vector. First, origin of application. So origin of application must be attached to the vector in order to get it multiplied. Okay. So the origin of replication start the replication inside the host cell. So this is the important sequence, origin of replication. Otherwise, the autonomously it cannot be replicated or independently. Then it has to integrate into the chromosome of the host cell. Along with the chromosome, it will replicate. But if we are providing origin of replication independent with the sequences, then it does not require to attach that. Independently, it can replicate and produce the multiple copies. The multiple cloning sites. Multiple cloning sites means the main objective of multiple cloning sites to attach multiple cloning sites is multiple cloning sites help uh, help to recognize the sequences foreign gene. We can integrate in the foreign gene in a different sites. Okay. Selectable marker gene. Selectable marker gene provide an advantage to get an identified the transformed cell from the untransformed cells. Selectable marker means marker which provide advantage to select the transformer because when we are performing these transformation experiments does not mean all the cells get transformed. Okay, so this will help you to identify a transformed cell. So vectors are the carriers of the DNA molecule. As I told you, it's a vehicle. It's act as a vehicle. So DNA vectors and their properties. So vectors should be capable to autonomous replication. As I told you, if it is has origin of replication, definitely it will able to replicate autonomously. Okay. So this is the most important feature of the vector should able to replicate independently. They should be of small size. Vectors should be of small size because large size of vectors create some problem inside the host cells. They can create what we call them a rearrangement in the DNA sequences. Okay, so we can easily handle the small size vectors. Next advantage, they should be a unique cleavage site. They have a unique cleavage site for the range of restriction endonucleases. So every vector should have a unique means single recognition site for the different restriction enzymes. So we can use any of restriction enzyme to insert that our gene of interest in that vector. They possess one or more genetic markers. So the genetic markers helps to identify the transform cell, which vector has to insert in the host cells and performing normal function. So we can also identify easily the with the help of this genetic marker. They should have host specificity. Means all these vector having a unique host specificity. Host specificity means all these vector having a unique sequences. So based on that sequence, the recognition sites has been identified by the restriction nucleic enzyme. So they are specific to the host. So there are some class of vectors which are commonly used in genetic engineering, like plasmids, plasmids, cosmids, plasmid, shuttle vectors, and expression vectors. And all these vectors have a insert limited of limited in their insert size. So if we talk about the plasmid can carry accommodate only less than 10 kb, 9.23 things. Less than 10 kb of DNA it can accommodate, not more than that. So if we are our aim is to transform a cell with small genetic segments, then we can use the plasmid proteins. Bacteriophage, it has somewhat more capacity as compared to plasmid. So it can accommodate 9 to 15 kb of the DNA it can accommodate. Okay. Insert size can have 9 to 50 kb. Cosmids 23 to 45 kilobascular of the DNA. In case of cosmid, 23 to 45 kilobascular of DNA. BACS. BACS means bacterial artificial chromosomes. So bacteria can accumulate to maximum 300 kilobascular of the DNA. PAC P1 phase artificial chromosomes 100 to 300 kilobascular. Yak has the largest insert capacity, that is 1000 to 3000 kilobascular. 100 to 3000 kilobascular of the DNA. So plasmids are naturally present in bacterial cells. So different microorganisms. Okay, so these plasmids. Plasmids are the mosaic of phases and plasmid. So it has cos side from the plasmid, like the phase and plasmid. Cosmid has lambda cos side with the plasmid. Means plasmid sequence has the lambda cos sides. So it forms the cosmids. Similarly, plasmid shuttle vectors. Shuttle vector, main shuttle vector is to clone a particular vector into two different organisms, two different sources. Eukaryotic vector. Or in yeast or bacteria we can shuttle vector. Expression vector when our aim is to express a particular gene into the protein inside the cell, then we are using the expression vectors. So what is plasmid? Plasmids are the self-replicating double-stranded circular DNA molecules that are maintained in bacteria as independent or as a extra chromosomal entities. So these are also found in some yeast, but not in higher eukaryotes. Plasmids are widely distributed throughout the prokaryotes. So you can see in the picture, the plasmids contain origin of replications, restriction enzymes, cloning sites, and selectable marker genes. Example PVR P22 plasmids, PUC University of California 19 series plasmid. These are the two plasmid vectors most commonly used. And phases. These are the derivative of phase which have been developed as cloning vectors since the early days of the gene technology. The phase derivatives are considered to the most suitable cloning vectors for the cloning genomic eukaryotic genomic DNA because they can accommodate more genetic size 9 to 15 kilometers. Thousands of the phases flex can be obtained in a single Right, it is selection by DNA hybridization is possible. In vitro packaging into empty phases head is possible, thus increasing phase infectivity. Size selection of the packaged DNA is possible. Millions of independently cloned viral particles can be constituted from a gene library. Insertional vector and replacement vector. Insertional vector and replacement vector. Cosmate. Plasmid contain phase cos sites are known as cosmates. Cosmate can be used to clone large fragments of DNA by exploring the phase in vitro packaging system. Cosmates. You can use the cosmates. So plasmid contain the lambda cos site. Okay. Cosmets can be used to clone large fragments, as I told you, nearly 40 kb of the DNA, exploiting the phase in vitro packaging system. Similarly, phase plasmid. Plasmid is also called as hybrid system. Plasmids are hybrid formed between the small multiple copies plasmid and bacteria. Small plasmids can be propagated as a plasmid analytical basis. Chiral vectors. Chiral vector normally comprise E. coli plasmid or part of such plasmid like previously legated into in vitro plasmid of virus replicant from another. This is a two different class of origin of replication. So it can be multiplied to different sources. Expression vector. In DNA cloning experiment, all the genes cloned are not expressed fully because of weak promoters in vector DNA. Can dramatically improve by placing such genes downstream of strong promoters. These expression vectors produce the proteins throughout the transcription of vectors, which insert followed by translation of the mRNA proteins. Produced thereof require more component than the simpler transcription. Expression in different host organisms would require different elements, although they share requirement, for example, promoter for initiation of transcription, ribosome binding sites, and translation initiation to termination signals. So prokaryotic expression vector contain promoter, ribosome binding site, and translation initiation site. So commonly used inducible promoters are promoters derived from lac operon and T7 promoters. Other strong promoter use include trip promoter, tag promoter, which are a hybrid of both the trip and lac operon promoters. And ribosome binding sites follow the promoters and promote efficient translation of the protein of interest. Then translation initiation site. Saint-Dalgallo sequence contain Saint-Dalgallo So ribosomal. Then eukaryotic expression vector. Content polydimensional, minimal BTR length. Thank you.